Hey Tivies, it's Psychic Bob. It is so awesome to be back with you. Why don't I say welcome? And here we are, it's Saturday. And you know what that means? It's time for our Saturday seance. For those of you who are new here, this is a regular tradition. Every Saturday we gather at my channel and we have an old-time spiritualist seance. I came out of the spiritualist church many years ago. That's where I was trained as a medium and developed. And, when I was in the spiritualist church, we used to gather at mediums' homes on the weekend and hold seances. It was always amazing. And a lot of you watching, I know a lot of you have said you've never had the chance to be at a seance. So that's why I created this series. And, if you were here in my home, which in a sense you are virtually, I'd just put you in chairs here right around my chair, a little circle. And we'd open the door to the spirit world. So you know what? We're going to do that. We can do that now because of technology. We're all together. And I'm so glad you're here. In the future, we're probably going to do a live seance broadcast where you'll actually be interacting real time with me and with the spirits. Would you guys like that? Well, we'll work on that. Anyways, I had to show you something really quick here today that I got. I found this at an online auction. Look at this. It's an old spiritualist hymnal. When I used to go, as I said, to the spiritualist church, and we used to have these in the pews. And this one dates from 1951. And it's really cool. It's it's from the NSAC, which I was a member of, National Spiritualist Association of Churches. But it's really wonderful. In the front, they have the declarations of principles of the spiritualist church, and they talk about definitions of mediumship. And it's got beautiful songs in it. I'm not going to sing a song today, but I wanted to show it to you because those of you who've been to a spiritualist church, you may remember these. I don't know if they still carry them in the churches today, but this is exactly like the ones I used to see. And it says in the back here, I think it's from, let me see if it says what church it's from. I thought it said in here. Hold on just a second. I can tell you exactly where it comes from. Here it is. This manual was a part of the first spiritualist church at Corner Green and Glenwood Streets in Brockton, Massachusetts. Now, I was in the church in Washington, but this is from Massachusetts. But our books looked exactly the same. And it dates to 1951. Isn't that a great piece of spiritualist history? Anyways, I have a spiritualist manual as well, and I'll show that to you when I can find it. But I wanted to bring you the hymnal today. We'll do some songs from this later. Well, I'm so glad you're here. So we're going to do our seance. And for those of you who are new here, I am what is called a trance medium. A trance medium is somebody who goes into a trance state. And when I go into a trance state, spirits overshadow my consciousness and take temporary control, and they speak through me. Now, if you've never seen it, it might seem a little strange, but not to worry. It's nothing to be worried about. I'm at peace. It's like I'm sleeping, I'm just kind of half asleep. I hear a little bit that comes through, but not a lot. It's kind of like when you're on the couch watching TV and you start to drift off. Well, that's what it's like when I'm doing trance. I hear voices, but I'm not real connected. So I'm going to settle down and go into trance, and we'll see what the spirit people have for you. So I welcome you guys for being here today. Well, I'm going to take the lights down here. So let's dim our lights. I think we'll take it down just a little darker. Well, I'm going to settle into trance, and I'll see you when I get back. Oh, greetings. This is Fletcher. Oh, I think we're in the medium's body. I hope y'all can hear us out there. You know, sometimes if we don't get the vibration right, we'll be talking and it'll be like talking to the air. You won't hear us, you'll just see the mouth moving. But I think we've got control. It looks like all the systems are go here. Well, it's so nice to have all of you join in with us. Well, we've got a few people be wanting to be speaking, so I'll be stepping out of the medium's body. This is Fletcher, over and out. Greetings, my dears. This is Rose. Oh, it's such a blessing to be here with all of you. I have to echo Fletcher's words. Whenever we have the opportunity to come through a medium and speak directly to you, oh, it's such a blessing for all of us. I have to say, tonight I feel the vibrations are very good. All of you are very much in attunement with your higher selves. You know, it's very important that in your life you learn to trust your inner self, your inner light. It is the guiding light that will guide you, not only in this life, but in the life to come. When I first arrived in the spirit world, I was acutely aware that each person had an etheric glow around them. You see, about each person there's a spirit light. Some people's lights grow brighter and some are dimmer. Oh, I have to say, when I first arrived here, my light was rather dim, and I felt very shoddy, I did. And I used to say to the angels, I said, why can't I glow brightly like them? And they used to say to me, dear Rose, in time you will glow brighter than the sun. But in our world, you see, advancement is degree by degree. And so one must be patient. Had I spent more of my earthly life doing good upon the earth and being more attuned to higher vibrations, I would have had a higher frequency when I came over here. This is why we always say to each of you, pay attention every day to your vibration. Every day is an opportunity to grow in the light. You're either growing towards the light or away from the light. It's very difficult to remain static in the material world, for the material world is a world of fluctuation. Over here in our world, you get a time of rest. You know, when you first arrive here in the spirit world, it's a bit overwhelming. And when I first came here into the light, you know, I'd been in that place of purgatory, but when I arrived in the light, I was a little overwhelmed, and I said, oh, my dears, it's so bright here, oh, my head is spinning. And they said, there, dear, have a little rest now. You are acclimatized to the vibration. Over here it is a realm, as I said, of light. Its frequency and vibration are beyond anything that exists in the earthly realm. In the earthly realm, it is a realm of darkness and decay. Have you ever noticed that nothing in your world is self-luminous? Or very few things, I should say, beside lightning bugs and perhaps a few strange squid in the bottom of the ocean. But most things on your earth are not self-luminous. And that means that they contain no light. Were your earthly sun to be extinguished, you should be cast into a place of great darkness and cold. Fortunately, in the spirit world, the light of divinity suffuses all things. Everything here is self-luminous, and when you first arrive in the spirit world, you will be amazed at how beautiful light is here. I encourage each of you to reflect upon the light. It is your true destiny. If you put off doing your spiritual work, you'll be like me. You'll arrive here in the spirit world. It should be, well, shall I say, less than prepared. Over here, you could think of your light as your designer clothes. As many of you know, I love good fashion. And the clothing here is the most exquisite. You cannot imagine the fabrics. The very fabrics of our robes here are made of light, and they contribute and enhance our glory. In the spirit world, you would be given a robe of light, and it will be beautiful beyond anything. But it's even better if your own soul vibration can match that robe of light. The robe of light will clothe you, prevent you from feeling naked and uncomfortable. But inside that robe, you still have your own light, and you will glow brighter or dimmer, depending upon how you have lived on your earthly life. Once you attain the light of spirit, though, It is a place of peace where progress can be made. But you see, the earthly life is a life of progress also. And here in the earthly life where you live, this is your school, your training ground. It is your boot camp for spirit. Some of you are saying, but Rose, dear, I have the most dreadful life. I have everything wrong. Nothing works. I have no money. My dears, the material world is your challenge. But if you can suffuse your material reality with spiritual love, in spiritual light, then you can transform even the dreariest of homes, the dreariest of circumstances, into be suffused with divine light. Have you ever met somebody upon the earth? I knew a lady, she was a cleaning lady of mine, and one day she said, Rose, would you stop by my home and have a cup of tea? Well, you know, I have to say I was a bit of a snob, and I thought, oh, I don't want to be hanging with the servants, but she had been a very loyal servant, and I thought, well, I suppose one cup of tea couldn't hurt. And I went to her home, and I must say I was shocked at how tiny her home was and how dark. Very bare, very minimal, hardly had anything. Very different existence than my house in Mayfair. But as I sat with her and I had a cup of tea, I came to realize that there was some tangible quality in her home that was impressing upon me. I could not understand what it was, but I knew that sitting in a little hovel of a home, I felt peaceful, I felt joyful, and I felt very happy. And I thought, how could I be happy in this place of common poverty? But you know, the secret that I learned later in life was that that little home, though minimal at best, was suffused with love. The lady had a great faith, and she prayed often and meditated, very spiritual. And her home was very much suffused in spirit light. Since coming over here to the spirit world, I've been able to see the beauty of her home now. And they showed me in my life review that in that home, as I sat there, I was absorbing the light of heaven. You see, the light of heaven is not based upon your wealth or your prestige. It is based upon love. You can be a very rich person and have no love. Likewise, you can also be a very poor person and have no love. Love is a spiritual quality, and it is available to all. If you will allow love to suffuse your mind, your heart, and your being, it will overflow and suffuse the surroundings around you, and you will dwell in that place of love. It is said that love is God and God is love, and I must tell you it's absolutely true. Over here in the spirit world, all things are animated in love. The plants, the flowers, the grass, the trees, everything here is alive with consciousness, and it is the consciousness of love. You've heard dear Alfred speak about infinite intelligence, and it's very true. There is a God, and we often refer to the Godhead as infinite intelligence. It is the mind of the Creator, and it is suffused with love. And everything in the universe operates by this love. So if you live in that love, then you will have the Spirit of God within your heart. So remember this, whether your fortunes are great or small, it is not important. What is important is that you do all things with love. If you're saying at this time in your life, you're saying, Rose, I have such evil people around me. My family hate me, my in-laws hate me, my neighbors hate me. Ask yourself this. Say, why is it that they hate me? Many times our perceptions that others hate us are our own fear, that we perceive them as hating us, when really they don't. So be very careful that you do not fall in the trap of being a victim to your own fear. But at the same time, if there's a lot of hate around you, and it is genuine, then ask yourself, how can I be the light of love? The spirit world has given you a great mission, for you're in the midst of people who have hatred, in order that you might transform them. And so be of good cheer and know that Your opportunity to do a great work for the spirit world has been given to you. And like any assignment from our world, you never walk alone. If you call upon the spirit people, we will come and help you. We will give you the ability to know the word to say. We will connect you to the right people to help you advance others. Everything here is, and in your world, here and there, is done by teamwork. Teamwork, my dear. It is a union of your world and our world. So do not have fear. Do not hold on to loathing. Don't say, I cannot stand my neighbor. Oh, they are mean as a cuss. No, my dear. Love them. And in so doing, you will be the light of God. You may yourself be the only symbol of spiritual truth that person ever encounters. We see upon the earth today many souls wandering about, yet they have no joy and they've lost their connection to our world. Atheism is rampant upon the earth, and many people turn away from the light, believing that the material world is the true reality. They have forgotten that they themselves created the material world in the beginning to be a construct, a school for the soul. And so each of you now know that you're in your class, you're on your journey, and your soul is having a great experience. As a human being, you are actually a spirit having a human experience. You're not a human that just has a spirit, but you're truly a spirit that has a human experience. So let the light of spirit move through you as a spirit being, and someday you will return to our world. You have an infinite connection to infinite intelligence. Each of you here tonight have the ability to be a channel, to receive the messages from our world, to share them with others. Be open, receive, live in love, and then you will have peace. Let's just as others wish to speak, I'll be stepping from our medium. My name is Rose. Yes, Fletcher, I do believe I'm in the body. Good, raise the vibration. This is Alfred. I've come to also contribute to the discussion that dear Rose has started. Rose has said that if you live in love, you are connected to God, and I can say that this is true. Lack of self-love has caused many souls to perish and to wander in darkness. There is a myth that if you have self-love, that you are vain or self-absorbed. But self-love is love of your own spirit. It is the love that puts you in the presence of the Godhead. It is the very essence of God that flows through you, that allows life and that brings love. If you have fear that if you love others that you will be rejected, let go of that fear. No one can reject anyone. If you're led by spirit, your love will make an impression upon someone. Though they may initially reject you and say, I don't want to hear your words, I want nothing to do with you. If you allow the spirit to come through you, your words will be suffused with power. And if you have the power of the Spirit, all that you give in love will be returned to you. There are many people upon the earth today who have closed themselves off from love. They believe that their neighbor is out to harm them, and they do not trust anyone. It is not so much that people on the earth cannot be trusted, but it is more a case of people's own fear coming to the surface and blinding them. When the fear comes to the surface and blinds one reacts in a negative manner, withdrawing one's attention and time. Many people in the earth plane die of loneliness, From our world, this is a great sin and a great sorrow, that people should be neglected. The youth of the earth have believed that they will never die, and when they see death approaching in the form of old age, they push it aside, rejecting the wisdom of the elders, thinking that they themselves shall never age. When I was a young man, I lived in England, in Cambridge, and I used to think to myself that I should never die. I used to see older people and think to myself, oh, thank God I'm not them. But the truth is, in time we all age. I died at a relatively young age, comparatively speaking. It is because I abused my body through alcohol and drugs. But had I lived upon the earth longer and attained a very ancient age, I think that I should have been one of those rejected by the youth, at least of the modern world. The myth of eternal youth is what blinds people to be coming in touch with their spiritual self. When one is young, one is focused on the material world. How much money can I make? How beautiful is my body? How many partners can I have in my life? These things are passing fancies. It is not that love and sensuality and money are necessarily bad. No, they are part of the experience. But they must be seen in proper balance and perspective. The proper perspective is that you may have things of the earth and enjoy them, but also remember that everything that is given is a blessing from the higher realms, and so give thanks back to the higher realms. If you live in a state of thanksgiving continually, you will have joy in your heart, for you will know where true power comes from. The material things are signs of power, but that is only that. They are signs, they are not the true power. True power comes from our world. And if you are in connection with the spirit world, then you will have access to true power. Do not confuse the gifts of the spirit with the power of the spirit, for they are two different things. As Rose has said, it's very important that you begin to love, that you connect to others and allow them into your lives. As she has said, and she spoke very true words when she said that many people distrust their neighbor, and this is their own fear being manifested. Dare to love your neighbor, I say. Take the risk to reach out in love. Visit an elderly person. Learn from them. Many of your elderly have so much wisdom, but no one to share it with. Reach out, invite them to lunch with you. Sit and listen to the story of their life, and you will gain a great gift of wisdom. If you feel alone and you have no one to connect with our world, and we will help connect you to those of the earth who will move you along in your journey. Have no fear. Our world is always guiding. It is true what Rose has said, that in this world things are measured in terms of light. The more love that you have, the brighter you glow. The less love you have, the dimmer your soul light is. But even the dimmer souls have great hope, for it is the light that has brought them to this world, and they know that there is hope eternal, that they can grow and progress every day. If you feel that you have fallen backwards in your journey, do not give up hope, but let us come and help you. Many times for souls that feel they have strayed away from the good path, all that is required is a little nudge from our world. Perhaps you're someone today and you feel, I don't know, you want to say, Alfred and Rose, I've done a lot of evil in my life. I've not been kind to others, and I've not been particularly mindful of my own soul, and I've never really done much on the earth to help another soul. If you find yourself in that position, the very fact that you're here tonight hearing this message means that you're being awakened. And if you're being awakened by our message, then it means that you're being called. You're being called to a life of service and of love. It is said in the spiritualist movement that the doorway to reformation is never closed to any soul, here or hereafter. And so even the darkest of souls have an opportunity to advance in the light. Take this time, this holiday time, as we enter into the new year, to let the light of the dawning new year into your soul. Let your vibration rise. Let our world connect with you. Let us find a union. Our world and your world are in harmony ultimately. The two worlds meet when you open your heart. Heaven is not far away. It is right among you, but it is a frequency slightly higher than your own. And if you raise your vibration through meditation, and even the simple calling out to us, you may say, Spirit world, come and help me. And we will come and make our peace with you. And you will feel our presence, and your life will move forward in love. Some of you are developing spiritual gifts. Some of you know that you have the ability to receive our messages directly. Some of you have the ability to manifest spirit materialization. All of these gifts are being poured out in abundance now upon the earth. There are many light workers who are waiting to step into the road. Perhaps you are being called. The time is now to say yes to the spirit world. Let our world come and assist you. Do not delay, do not push us away. There is great darkness rising in many places, and you have a responsibility, a calling, dare I say, to answer yes to the light and bring back the light to those areas where darkness has encamped. Do not be afraid. Our world and your world are more closely united than you can imagine. Let's just say somebody else wishes to speak, so I'll be stepping from our medium. My name is Alfred. Oh, there, I think I'm in the body. Oh, can you hear me out there, loves? It's been a little while since I've been able to come through somebody here, but I'm trying to come through this medium here. Oh, give me just a moment here. This gentleman Fletcher's helping me. Well, there you go. Can you hear me, loves? Some of you know me out there. It's been a long time since I've been on the earth. Oh, I've been dead now. Well, the truth is no one really dies. Oh, but it's been about 30 years that I've been gone from the earth. But I'm so glad to be here with all of you. Now, give me just a moment. You have to bear with me because I'm used to hearing spirit voices, but not really coming through to people in the way that I'm in now. So it may take me a little while to get the frequency adjusted. And Fletcher's going to be helping me. Oh, there we go. Oh, what I wouldn't give for a good hot cup of tea right now. Over here we've kind of lost the ability to eat and drink. But I have to say I'm here with you. You know, a lot of you have been hearing voices. And I've been coming to help a lot of you hear the voices. And don't be afraid, I'm going to be helping you. Some of you say, who is it that's be speaking to me? Who's talking to me? And you don't understand who's talking to you. Well, let me give you my name. My name is Doris. You might have known me as Doris Stokes. Well, I was, a bit of a medium in my day. And, I helped a few people along the way. That's what I wanted to do. I tell you, it's funny being on this side of the veil and talking back. I keep feeling like I should be down on the earth and still working. But my work's shifted a little bit, and now I'm guiding others. Well, of course, they tell me over here that I've been guiding people for a long time, so it's really not so different. But I'm coming to help a lot of you now. A lot of you have been saying, I need to hear the voices. I'm hearing a whispering, but I can't hear it. Well, I'm going to help you with that. Just be a little patient, my love. We'll be helping you with it. Well, you might want to get a good glass of water and just have a little glass there with you and sit and just relax. You can even say, Doris, will you help me to hear the vibrations? See, everybody has a spirit ear. Yeah, they actually have two. We call it the spirit ear. But it actually is both ears. You might hear us in one ear or the other, and sometimes both in stereo. But we want to come and help you. And so for those of you who've been hearing a little inkling, a little whispering, you can call. You can say, Doris, help me to hear you. There you go. Well, I have a message to bring over here. Now, there's a gentleman here who's asking me to bring a message over to you. There's a person out there, a young lady who's been listening in. And there's a gentleman that I got here. His name is Tom. And Tom's saying to tell you that he's doing fine in the spirit. He died about 3 years ago in a car accident. And you know who you are. And Tom is saying to you, he says, well, I'm a little bit shy. I don't want to be coming through. But he said, I'll let Doris relay it for me. And so he's telling me, love. He says, tell you to know. And this is for a lady named Carol. Carol, you got Tom over here. And Tom's telling you that he's doing fine. There was a bit of a car accident around him. Oh, and he did say, he said it looked like a bad mash up here. He was on a highway and it looks like there was a truck involved. But he's asking me to tell you. He said, tell Carol that I'm doing fine in the spirit world. So he asked me to bring his name over to you. And well, that's what we're doing for him. Oh, we've got another person here. Who is this coming to me? Well, I see another person here. Oh, Jennifer's here. I got a little girl. Oh, she's about 15 years old. Jenny's her name. And Jenny's asking me to reach out. She said her father's watching tonight. And Jenny's father is out there. You know who you are, sir. And Jenny's your daughter. She died, it's been about 10 years ago now. But it looks like she had a terrible accident as well. It was some sort of fall, I believe, for her. And Jenny's asking me to tell you. And she says to tell you she's fine. She says, tell Dad it wasn't his fault. She said, I didn't mean to create the accident. She said, I shouldn't have been up on the ladder. It looks like there was some issue, like a roof repair going on here. And little Jenny was climbing the ladder and had a fall. Ended up fracturing her skull. She said, oh, I had a bit of a headache. She said, but then I woke up in the spirit world. But she said she thought she was in a hospital. And she says to tell you, she said it looked pretty bad from the earthly perspective. She said, but I didn't have no pain. And she's asking me to tell you. She said, oh, tell Dad that I'm doing fine, that I'm growing up here in the spirit world. So your little daughter Jenny's doing well. And she asked me to bring it over to you. Well, Fletcher says the power of the medium's growing weak. He's not used to channeling me. But I'm going to be coming hopefully more regularly and working with him. My name is Doris Stokes, and I hope that you'll call upon me and that I can be of some help to you. Well, loves, I hope you have a wonderful night. Have a cup of tea, and when you do, think of me and say, Doris, here's a cup of tea, we'll share it with you. And, I'll be there in your kitchen right with you, having a cuppa. Well, I have to step out of the body. The medium's calling me. The medium's guide is calling me. This is Doris Stokes. Greetings, my dear. This is Rose. I'm so pleased to have had the opportunity to be here with you tonight. But it's true that Doris came to visit. Oh, I wish I had been on earth to see her. I died before her time. But over here in the spirit world, I get the opportunity to meet with her, and it's such a pleasure for me. Fletcher says the medium's power is growing weak, so I shan't be taxing him. But I do wish to let each of you know that please call upon us in the spirit world. We are with you and we will help you always. The powder is fading now, and so I'll be leaving. But before I go, let me tell you that I love you all, and do call upon me, and call upon everyone. Come. Hey, Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. It's so wonderful to channel, and whenever the spirit people come through, it's very uplifting for me. And I hope today's seance has been a powerful and uplifting experience for you guys. Listen, if you've enjoyed this, you might want to pop over to my website and pick up my book, Messages from Rose. Oh, see that here. This you can get it at my website, and I'll put the link below for that in the info box. But pop over there. This talks about my work as a trance channel, as a medium. I think you'll enjoy it. And while you're over there, you might want to pick up Ouija Mysteries, the Spirit Board Seances, or my latest book, Wiccan Wisdom. So we have a lot of spiritual reading. These are all books that I've written and published, and you can get them over at my website. So I hope that you'll take the time and check it out and get some spiritual reading in. Those of you who have bought it have been sending me wonderful letters and say how much you enjoy my books. And we're going to be having more books coming soon, so not to worry, but you got a few to get started with. Well, guys, listen, thanks for being here. You guys are the best. Listen, before I go, got to remind you, be here tomorrow night on Sunday. We're going to have a live broadcast. We're going to have the 2018 Psychic Predictions at 11 p.m. Come to Spirit Channel. Let's ring in the new year. We're going to do the Witching Hour live, and it's going to contain my psychic predictions. Lady Angela and Lord Tony will be with us, and we're going to have an awesome time. So I hope you'll be with us. I love you guys. Keep it here at Spirit Channel. We'll see you tomorrow for the Witching Hour and the 2018 predictions. And until then, may you always, blessed